So hello everyone and welcome to episode 6 of our Alpine save. Now if you didn't watch the last episode in Miami, then please go back and watch that one because Ferrari had a cracking day in Miami, scoring a 1-2. Leclerc from Sainz, Max Verstappen only good enough for P3. That blew the title races wide open, but have a little look at our guy Esteban Ocon finishing in P8. Pierre Gasly was a DNF from that race. It was a difficult weekend for us in Miami, but the strategy paid off when it was so incident packed. So what does that mean for the standings? Well, if we have a look at the constructors standings, Red Bull are currently leading the way by just 5 points from Ferrari. Could Ferrari win a constructors title in the first season here on our F1 Manager 23 save? Aston Martin a little bit further back in P3, but then come Mercedes and then Alpine, 5th best car on the grid, and we are certainly just about where we should be at this moment in time. Driver standings wise, Max Verstappen leading the way for the Red Bull team, but only 16 points now in front of Charles Leclerc. Carlos Sainz in P3, our guys 9th and 10th, performing once again just about where they should be. But this weekend we head to Imola and the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. We've got 63 laps around here. Lewis Hamilton holds the lap record. If we have a look at the expected strategy, it is a one-stop from either medium or softs onto the hard compounder tyre, something we'll bear in mind throughout the weekend. But car attributes wise, high speed cornering is absolutely crucial around here. Why do I sound so happy about that? Because if we have a look at our car analysis, we are pretty damn good at high speed cornering. So I am looking forward to a positive weekend in Italy this weekend. A few Peronis and some pizza, hopefully at the end celebrating a very, very positive result for Alpine. So I'm going to get through practice and I'll see you in the qualifying for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix.
We're moving on now to the all-important qualifying session.
Alternative tyre allocation rules are in play this weekend. Teams will be limited to hard compound tyres in Q1, the medium compound tyres in Q2, and finally the softs in Q3.
If we turn our attention to Pierre Gasly for a minute, Karun, how's he going to be feeling as qualifying approaches?
I'll say this, it's always a pleasure seeing a confident driver take to the track. Being in the right frame of mind is a real advantage.
There's not much left to say, so let's get into it.
Here we go then, end of Q2. This alternative tyre allocation for qualifying is causing some real havoc here. We're on the medium compound tyres in Q2. We breezed through Q1 on one run on hard compound tyres, but Ocon is yelling through the first and second sectors. He had a very good first run though, did Esteban Ocon. So as he's coming up to the line, I'm not expecting a massive improvement. In fact, there is none, but Pierre Gasly's teammate is coming towards the line. Can he get in to Q3? Jumps his teammate Esteban Ocon. We've still got Sonoda De Vries and Logan Sargent on circuit. Can they overtake them? They can't. We have got 2 cars into Q3 and it's time to bolt on the soft compound tyre. So final laps in Q3 then. Esteban Ocon just complaining about the tyre warm-up as he was on his flying lap there. So Esteban Ocon obviously not feeling very optimal at this moment in time. Could we improve on P9 and 10? We've only done the one run. We want a fresh set of softs for the weekend. Esteban Ocon goes P6 at this moment in time. He was complaining, but he might not be complaining too much now as Pierre Gasly crosses the line. P10 for Pierre Gasly. Will Russell and Alonso manage to jump Ocon? It doesn't look like they will. One of them did. It's now P8 and P10 for us. George Russell not performing in that Mercedes. Verstappen on pole from his teammate Checo Perez. It's a Red Bull front row lockout. Let's get to the strategy screen. So then guys, strategy time. I've just got a feeling. Do you know one of them times where you've just got a feeling something's going to work? Well, let me talk you through it. Esteban Ocon has got a couple of fresh sets of tyres. He's been fast all weekend. I reckon he's got the pace this weekend to make the soft medium work. 1:22.06 is the estimated race time. All fresh sets of tyres. I'm that excited. I'm speaking too fast about it. But Esteban Ocon, I reckon, has got the pace to make this work this weekend. He's looked very quick. So Esteban is on a 2-stop. Pierre Gasly I've just got a feeling we should start him on the hards. As to why, I have no idea. We're going to start him on the hard compound tyre. We've got the option to either go medium or softs, depending on how the race plays out. Maybe a later safety car. I remember being stung a little bit on F1 Manager 22 with a safety car. So we're going with Pierre Gasly starting on the hard. So a very different strategy for both cars. P8, P10. Let's get to 5 red lights for the Imola Grand Prix.
This is it, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
And away we go, and straight away we can see Verstappen got a belting start on Checo, Perez, Leclerc, straight away up into P3, Alonso into P4, then comes Sainz, Stroll, Ocon already up into P7. What a belting start that is from Esteban Ocon, starting on the on the soft compounded tyre. Great work from him. He's already up into P7. Hamilton P8, Gasly P9, and Russell P10. But if we have a look at the tyres, there is very much a mix of strategies at the top. We can see Perez on the soft compounded tyre, Verstappen on the mediums, then comes Leclerc and Alonso on the mediums, as well as Stroll. Sainz on the softs with Ocon, Hamilton on the mediums, Gasly on the hards. He's the odd one out in the top 10 with George Russell on the soft compounded tyre. But the one thing George Russell didn't want to happen was to get stuck behind Pierre Gasly on the hard compounded tyre. So a great start for us. Perez leads the way from Verstappen, Leclerc in P3, Ocon 7th and Gasly 9th. And Gasly 9th didn't last too long because George Russell on the soft compounded tyre, he's not in our fight at the start of this Grand Prix, and George Russell does manage through the chicane, to be fair, to get the position on Pierre Gasly. Not fantastic for him, but George Russell expected to get past him, and now Gasly in a fight with Tsunoda. At the start of this Grand Prix, everybody's going to be a little bit quicker than Pierre, but hopefully towards the end the race will come to him. As we come towards onto lap 2, we can see Perez still leading from Verstappen, but Ocon is sitting pretty in P7, but holding up the two Mercedes of Hamilton and Russell, who are fighting away behind him. Gasly doesn't get it, but Magnussen certainly does, as Magnussen now gets past in the Haas. It's going to be early pain for Gasly. It will come to him. It'll come to us towards the end. He's just got to stick with it, and a well-timed safety car could change the whole complexion of the race for Pierre Gasly. And as much as Ocon was holding up Hamilton on when the DRS has been enabled, Hamilton has sailed past him. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do about that apart from maybe hold on to the tail of Lewis Hamilton. Probably not the correct terminology there, but Esteban Ocon now 4/10 of a second. If he can stick in with Lewis Hamilton, we'd be delighted with that. Gasly is doing everything he possibly can to stick with Lando Norris. In fact, we're going to tell him to deploy a little bit and stay in the DRS of Lando Norris. He's got to, for the sake of his race, because he's really struggling early on in these tyres. But Ocon doing okay and sticking with Lewis Hamilton. Lap 5, still Perez leading from Verstappen. Leclerc a little bit further back in P3. And as we come on to lap 11, we can see Pierre Gasly's tyres starting to come into their own now as he manages to get past Lando Norris. It's a great move, to be fair, through that first chicane. So fair play to Pierre Gasly. Past Lando Norris, great work from him. And if we just fast forward back to normal time, Gasly now just getting into the DRS of Yuki Tsunoda, which will help once again in him hanging on to managing to defend, from Lando Norris. So Pierre Gasly doing a sterling job. We've got a bit trigger happy on the fuel with Pierre Gasly. He's going to have to catch that back. But Esteban Ocon doing very well to just try and stay with Lewis Hamilton at lap 13. To say those tyres are coming on strong would be an understatement, because Pierre now moving past Yuki Tsunoda. Great work from him to get past him there. Pierre Gasly up into P11 on the hard compounded tyre. It's great work from him now. 2.3 seconds only back from Kevin Magnussen. Esteban Ocon is doing himself no harm here in staying with the faster Mercedes car. Hamilton lapping in the 119s. The low 119s, Ocon in the sort of high 118s, while he's a second faster than his teammate per lap, as you probably would expect on those tyres at this moment in time. But Esteban Ocon doing himself no harm, and remember, on the two-stop strategy, we are struggling with tyre wear a little bit though, so we have swapped it. We're going to go medium on the middle stint to then go on to the soft at the end when the car should be lighter, and hopefully the tyre wear should be a little bit less for Esteban. But at the moment, can't grumble, 8th and 11th, but Verstappen now leads from Perez. His tyres, those medium compound tyres, in better nick now. He's towing his teammates along here. and they are battling at the front, but Verstappen seems to have the edge. Gap to Leclerc, 3.3 seconds, although Leclerc does have the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Lap 19, Pierre Gasly showing these hard compound tyres working for this Alpine car now. He is up into P10. Great work from him. We will be showing you very, very shortly because Esteban Ocon is pitting this lap onto the medium compounder tyre. We're hoping to get him out in a little bit of clean air. We reckon it's about 27 seconds for the pit stop, so he should come out hopefully in front of Oscar Piastri. That at least is the plan. So we'll come back when Esteban's in for his pit stop. And in for his pit stop he is. Esteban into the pits. Let's hope for no issues here. 2.6 seconds, it's not bad. We have eradicated those mistakes by the looks of things. We aren't banging in the quickest pit stops, but we are banging in consistently decent pit stops, which is something that we're very, very happy with. As we have a look now, Esteban coming up the pit lane, coming out of the pit lane. He's got Albon and Hülkenberg coming out. Ocon, can he get out in front of these two? It looks like he can. He goes defensive straight away, but Esteban Ocon out in front of those two, and he's got a nice bit of a gap. Now in front of him. 4.8 seconds the gap to use these tyres, and straight away he's going to be told to deploy on the ERS and try and break away from these two cars. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly sitting pretty in P9, towing Magnussen along, but he's putting in a stellar performance on the hard compound tyres. Lap 20, Verstappen, just interestingly, broken the DRS of Checo Perez. And we're starting to wonder if this is going to be a cracking weekend for us here at Alpine, because Esteban Ocon getting past Nick De Vries, that's an important move for his race. Up into clean air again now. He's got in front of him. If we just have a little look, 3.7 seconds now as a few cars are pitting. George Russell being one of them. The soft compound tyre runners going onto the hard compound tyre now. So Esteban Ocon, yes, he's got another pit stop to make, but he's making up time, and the pace that we said he got, he's making use of it, and it's looking very, very positive. Looking very positive as well for Pierre Gasly. A well-timed safety car here. If we get a safety car around lap 36, honestly, we're going to be laughing all the way back to Ensto as the first one of the front runners comes in, and it's Checo Perez onto the hard compounder tyre. And if our guys are watching down at Alpine, that is how to do a pit stop. Lap 25, Verstappen leads. Lap 26, new fastest lap of the Grand Prix goes to Kevin Magnussen, but Max Verstappen has come out of the pit lane now, and Pierre Gasly separates the two Red Bulls on circuit. And I'm hoping Pierre Gasly can just stay with Verstappen for a couple of laps, because if he can, that would be absolutely ideal. However, I can't see it happening with the pace that Max Verstappen seems to have in that Red Bull. Esteban Ocon on the back of Sainz and Tsunoda now. Carlos Sainz has pits, so interestingly, he's got to try and clear Yuki Tsunoda as quick as he possibly can, and he's going to be told to use the overtake aggression and get past as quick as he possibly can. On lap 27, Leclerc now leads, but yet to pit. Ocon now on the back of Sainz and Tsunoda. Sainz has had a shocker here, getting held up behind this AlphaTauri, and we're going to now ride on board with Esteban Ocon because he's our driver, and have a look at what happens here. Esteban Ocon using a little bit of battery, pulls to the left hand side. Remember, Ocon on the quicker tyre than the Ferrari. He's got the DRS, as has the Ferrari. Yuki Tsunoda in the AlphaTauri defending staunchly. Ocon goes to the inside here. We're going to switch to the television camera as Esteban Ocon tries to keep it up the left-hand side of the Ferrari. Can't quite do it, but it's still an intriguing battle here as to which one of these two cars can get past Yuki Tsunoda the quickest. Gasly has lost the RS, but he's in a decent position. Lap 27. Lap 32, we've got a few of the medium compound runners pitting, namely Charles Leclerc, who was in the lead of the Grand Prix, but he can see Esteban Ocon behind him, and Esteban Ocon can't quite get past him. In fact, Esteban Ocon can get past him on that medium compounder tyre. Good work from Esteban. Fantastic work from Esteban, to be fair to him. Pierre Gasly lost the position to Fernando Alonso, but he can now hopefully try and stick in with that. He's got a few more laps as Pierre Gasly before he switches onto the medium compounder tyre. Like I said, well-timed safety car. We are doing a safety car dance now here on the Alpine pit wall. But Ocon's still got another pit stop to make. He's going to be very, very quick towards the end of this Grand Prix. Lap 32, Verstappen now is in the lead of the Grand Prix. Sergio Perez is net P2. Hamilton yet to pit from those mediums. So, great work so far. Lap 32. Got a yellow flag on circuit. Let's have a little look at this. It's Charles Leclerc pushing a bit too hard, it must be said, and just taps Esteban Ocon, knocks him wide. Esteban Ocon, I don't know if he's got damage. Let's have a little look. It doesn't appear he has. He looks as though he's still in decent nick. So Esteban Ocon still in the race, but Leclerc, I believe, has got a penalty, but not ideal at all for Esteban Ocon. Lap 37, Pierre Gasly into the pit lane, and I've got to say Pierre Gasly has done a stonking even first stint on those tyres. We don't want a bad pit stop here, and we don't get a bad one. 2.6 seconds again. Pierre Gasly now is going to be coming out on the medium compounder tyre. Let's have a little look at what's around him. George Russell's past him. Magnussen's going to get past him. Is Lando Norris. That's the key point here. Pierre Gasly coming out of the pit lane. All eyes are on Lando Norris, who I think's a little bit too far back. In fact, he's very much too far back. And Pierre Gasly out onto the medium compounder tyre. Only 5 seconds now behind Kevin Magnussen. I would expect Pierre to be very, very quick now towards the end of this Grand Prix. Magnussen on used hards. Gasly on fresh softs. Ocon still yet to pit, and he's holding up Lewis Hamilton quite badly at this moment in time, but he's got to go onto the soft compound at the end, lap 37. Pierre Gasly has made this strategy work seamlessly this afternoon. Pierre Gasly is up into the point Spain positions, overtaking Kevin Magnussen as easy as it comes. Meanwhile, we've got Esteban Ocon coming into the pit lane very, very shortly. He's just about to fall out of the DRS of Lance Stroll. We kept him out a little bit longer because he had that DRS, but he's going to be mighty quick towards the end. Is Esteban Ocon. So now it's all on whether Gasly can possibly catch George Russell. I can't see no reason as to why not. We want to drop Magnussen as quick as we possibly can as well. That will aid Esteban Ocon. But Esteban Ocon, as we see, coming around the final corner, and he's going to be coming into the pit lane. Let's see where Esti Beste ends up on circuit. So Esteban Ocon, one of the only drivers to be trying a two-stop this afternoon. He's going to be exceptionally quick towards the end. Again, we don't want any issues here. Esteban Ocon, it's not a bad stop, 2.6 seconds. So Pierre Gasly, his teammate, already passed him. He'll not be best happy about that. Lando Norris looks like he's already passed him as well. But Esteban Ocon coming out of the pit lane now. He's a little bit further back. Tsunoda's not going to catch him, so he's now going to have to chase down Lando Norris. And that will do very nicely for Esteban Ocon. He's going to be mighty quick now towards the end of this Grand Prix. Pierre Gasly's just burning the RS just to get away from Kevin Magnussen, as that will help his teammate in a few laps' time. So Ocon, 7 seconds gap to Norris. He's got 10 seconds to make up on soft compound tyres to get some points. 46, Verstappen leads, fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Then comes Perez and Alonso. It looks like it's job done at the front of the pack. Hamilton P4, Sainz, Leclerc, 5-second penalty for crashing into Ocon, in P6. Then comes Stroll, Gasly P9, Ocon, all over to you, my friend. Our drivers have made some fantastic overtakes this weekend, and this is a decent one as well. Esteban Ocon up into P11. It's no match. Lando Norris is no match for Esteban on those soft compound tyres. And now Esteban is in the DRS of Kevin Magnussen as well. So once this is done, it might just be a fight between the two Alpines towards the end. But here we go. We're going to ride on board with Esteban Ocon, who's got DRS, the soft compound tyres. Can he make the pass on the Haas of Kevin Magnussen? He looks to the right at left-hand side. No, nothing there. Goes to the outside. Magnussen tries to cover him off. He can brake later. He's got much better traction on those tyres, and he made it look particularly easy against Kevin Magnussen. It's P9 and P10, familiar positions, but we've done it in two very different ways. Verstappen's still leading. We don't need to see the replay. Ocon up into the points paying positions. This is unbelievable. We missed the overtake from Gasly on George Russell, but Esteban Ocon has overtaken George Russell in the Mercedes. He is now up into P9. It's fantastic work from Esteban Ocon. Gasly's now got the gap to, well, it's over 3 seconds, but Esteban Ocon, with 3 laps to go, is in front of a Mercedes. Could it be P8 and 9? In fact, we've just got 2 more laps to go now. Lap 62, Verstappen, 12.3 seconds the gap between him and his teammate. But it's all on whether Esteban Ocon can defend from George Russell. What a time to be alive. We could beat a Mercedes. We'll come back on the last lap. Max Verstappen has won it at a canter. We can see the Dutchman crossing the line there. Great work from him. Max Verstappen wins, but would you believe it? Esteban Ocon has got a 2.9 second gap to George Russell. Pierre Gasly, great work from him in P8. He is just looking to come round. He's got to go through the chicane and the last few corners. But Esteban Ocon What a performance from Esteban. He's managed to overtake George Russell, make the two-stop work. We thought all weekend that we got the option to make this two-stop work with Esteban Ocon. We thought he got the pace, and by Jove, Pierre Gasly's going to cross the line for P8, and it's P9 for Esteban Ocon. That has been a belting Grand Prix for us here in Imola. Let's get to the podium celebrations.
It's been a long race, but there's Kevin Magnussen coming back. And no doubt, Verstappen fans will be celebrating the Dutchman's achievement.
4 superb wins to their name now this year, and it's been a pleasure watching them drive.
Well, Formula One certainly feels at home in Italy, and it looks like those three feel right at home too.
They certainly do, and it's a good top three. It's a 1-2 for Red Bull. They'll really enjoy that. Fernando Alonso will enjoy the podium as well, but my God. Lewis Hamilton P4, Leclerc P5, but let's get to our two guys, because Pierre Gasly P8, Esteban Ocon P9. Fantastic work from both our guys. Really, really happy with that performance. Let me know, would you have done anything different in the strategy? I think we practically got it bang on there. Max Verstappen extends his lead at the top of the drivers' standings. It's now 32 points at the top from Charles Leclerc in P2. Checo Perez now only 4 points behind Leclerc, and Carlos Sainz only 5 points. It's very tight at the top in the drivers' standings. Esteban Ocon still stays 1 point in front of Pierre Gasly. Great work from them two. Constructors standings wise, Red Bull lead away by what we got there, 33 points, I believe. Quick maths as always here. Aston Martin in P3, we stay in P5, but we do very much extend the gap over Haas in P6. I hope you've enjoyed that one. I've really enjoyed that one. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Ta-ra!